I liked my Androids, but then, so when I switched back from, I still had my old HTC phone, and it had the rollerball. It was all buttons, but the one rollerball, and the rollerball was, I missed that rollerball, but at that time, like everything was built for an iPhone, so all your apps and everything were really on the iPhone. So I moved over to iPhone, and then I stayed there for a while, went back to Samsung, and then came back when I got when I got separated. I moved back to iPhone because I had to get a new phone. So I was like,
"Oh, we're live! Hi!"
So, you didn't hear us say we were live?
No.
Oh yeah, we're live. Just chatting up stuff. Hello.
Hello. Anybody who may or may not be.
This is how we start, just in mid-conversation.
Mid-conversation.
It's the professional way to do things.
But the best part, we found out we were in the middle of the conversation at like the pivotal part is that when I went back to iPhone, I had this reminder from when I used to have an iPhone that popped up when I was married. And it just said for me, it was like reminder, kill Carl. And I died laughing when I finally set it up and I got this first bing. It's just, it's like my past self knew.
Wow.
I still can't believe you married a Carl. No offense to any other Carls out there. I just have a thing with the name. The only Carl I trust is Phineas and Ferb.
Welcome to the middle of our conversation. Hello.
Hello.
Debbie's here.
And Who's ready to read?
So what is everybody reading? We know what we're reading.
I am reading The Prophets.
Is it bad for me to admit I really haven't picked it up?
Good stuff.
I trust Carl the robot. Hank Green.
That's the only Carl we trust.
Stephanie, you're closer to my age. You know Carl from Phineas and Ferb. He works the camera.
Who?
He's a cartoon character.
Oh.
Show back when I was in middle school.
I was too old for that. We Hunt the Flame.
I need to reread that and get the second book because I love the first book.
I haven't tried it yet.
I think it's really good, and Hafsa Faisal just really.
She wasn't dead. She was in Puzzle Land.
Yeah, she was posting all yesterday about her puzzle.
Is the second book out right now, or it's getting ready to come out?
For We Hunt the Flame, it came out early January.
Okay.
But it's like a Middle Eastern kind of story, and it's just so good. I'm a great bookstagrammer. I do not remember the synopsis because I read it 2 years ago. But I remember really liking it. But as everybody says, I like everything. But I remember the writing being really good.
I read that last year too.
I didn't read that.
It's okay. It's good. It's good. It's been in my cart for...
Lacey, you have how many things in your cart, though? Yay, we love you.
I love you.
I feel like you like it, Lacey. It was okay for me. I traded the book in, and I won't be reading the second one, but I feel like Lacey will like it.
I think you'll like it. I traded it in, and I won't be reading the next one, but you'll like it.
I don't trust Lacey reading books I like anymore. She ends up hating them, and it makes me sad.
She was on the fire, but it was great.
Don't be sad. Emma, we have our series that we like.
I know. We need to read
Assassin's Creed. Loving that. Loving it.
I don't know if this is in Lacey's defense or in support of you, but Lacey is a very tough critic. So
it's okay, Debbie. I haven't touched it since our last sprints because I got caught up in other books. But I will be getting the audio. You just like bad books. It's not me. It's you. Okay. Hey, fighting words.
Hey, everybody be nice. We're going to get a moderator just for Lacey. Where's Francis?
Not
Francis
as critical on books. I just read to be made happy.
That is funny.
Well, Lacey, I think Lacey wants not happy books. Predominantly. She wants main characters to die, and she wants to feel feelings.
She doesn't like romance either, and I really love romance, so...
Right. So true. So true.
I also I feel like more books need to end in an unhappy ending. I think blood and violence.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be so tidy.
No.
You know?
See, I don't care if it's like tidy, but if there's some semblance of like this is the end, that's fine. I just don't want to be left with like wanting another book.
Mm-hmm.
Want to be another book. Like I get if it ends up like unhappy, at least it ended and it's ended, and I don't like that makes me think of the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson. He literally like, where's my series? So it's over there. So he wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books, and then he published the last one, which is called Nevermore. People were so pissed off about the ending. He wrote a second last book.
Oh, really?
Series. And this series is like the least consistent series ever. It's like it's poor writing, but it's just brain candy to me because it's like my first like big book series I loved.
I didn't even know there were that many books in that series.
Yeah.
Hi, Francis.
Hi, Francis. If there's no book 2, I agree.
That's the way I felt with Wilder Girls, and I think that's because she didn't do enough of a job like fleshing out the story for Annie. So you get to the end and you're like, but like, wait, I need something else.
Right.
And I think you can have a cliffhanger or you can have an open ending, but you still have to somehow feel like some of your questions were answered.
Yeah.
Like with Wilder Girls, I was also like kind of confused part of the time. I'd be not reading along. Oh,
Francis, we're going to need you to keep Lacey in line. Thank you.
I prefer an open ending. I don't know about that. I'm not a big open ending fan unless there is a next book in the series.
I just want to somehow feel like 80% settled. Like,
it depends on the book for me. Sometimes I don't mind an open ending where I don't necessarily know like what's going to happen next with these characters. And sometimes those questions are okay for me. But I don't know. I think that's just a certain type of book where I don't mind that.
Yeah. I think sometimes adult contemporary can end like that, especially if it's more like literary fiction. It can end in just like, we told a story.
Right.
Like,
right.
Okay. But like, what about the people? Like, what about the things?
Yeah. And maybe that doesn't work so well with fantasy.
Yeah.
See, Sadie pissed me off.
Okay, we're not going to have this debate about Sadie. It's going to get really heated.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Hang on, Lacey.
Sadie, ending for Sadie, I wanted more of it tied up, and I wanted to know all the things, but I didn't get to know all the things.
We appreciated that.
That'd be safer that way. But I have the exact opposite feelings as Lacey. I feel like Sadie made sense. I'm right. That's it. Yes, you're right. I agree. But yeah, it's like you have a Sadie, like what they were talking about, you wanted it to be real, and to be real means there might not always be an answer, but Wilder Girls is like fantasy, and I kind of needed more.
I see. And like I get that it's like realistic. I'm reading now. So like sometimes I don't mind if it's not realistic, like 100%. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we purposefully did not finish this so we could read it together.
And I read some of this yesterday, so I got up to page 153, which is the Balm and Gilead chapter. So
I'm on 224
today.
I'm on 62.
That's okay.
It is all right.
That's okay.
It is all right.
There are days left in the month. You have until Sunday.
Not many, which I'm realizing.
I also have to take a couple out where I probably won't do as much reading.
See, Sadie, this is This is what it's like.
I know it's what it's like, but I just wanted to know.
But haven't you ever watched Unsolved Mysteries?
I want to know the things, even if they don't know them. Still gonna leave me bothered.
Here's one thing I want to say about Sadie. I'm annoyed now that like every book feels like they need to have a podcast element. It's like you don't, maybe you don't need to do that. I know it feels trendy, but like maybe you don't need to do the whole there's a podcast involved. I don't know. I'm annoyed by it.
Yeah. I guess I like them in audiobook form. So if they're done well, I'm happy. Like the I Killed Zoe Spanos. That book was really good. I read that in like one flipping day, and it has a podcast element to it, like Sadie, but it's got lots of other things to it, and you do get answers in the end. So if you didn't like Sadie for that reason, then you might like that one, because you do get those answers. But there is a crime, and there's a crime podcast, and it's a really good audiobook.
Yeah. I've actually heard a lot of good things about that book. I remember when you read that one too.
Yeah, I love that.
People seem to really love that one.
It's true. You don't really like YA.
Interesting.
That's why
I like
YA. Some YA.
I don't know why, like, the YA that you love is one of the ones that, like, I think Lacey and I both were like, how is this the one that you love? And that's A Curse So Dark. And
I don't know.
That's the one that got you. Like,
and then the one we're reading, the Grave Mercy series, I feel like is slightly older. I'm not positive how much older, but like I find it interesting that Naomi likes it too. Because I feel like it's something you like usually like. And usually when Naomi like reads books, I assume they're always adult, as to why with our next month pick, I was like, that's an adult book. Naomi suggested it.
Is it adult though? Or is it YA? I still feel like
it's YA. Penguin Teen posted it on their Instagram.
Why does it hit you? I can't remember. I can't remember all the things. I'm old.
Well, I liked it before, but the reason why I have a special connection to it is because when I was almost finished reading it, it's the day that my mom told me they were going to take my stepdad off of life support. So I was just kind of able to channel my nervousness about that and just read the rest of the book. And by the time I was done, it was time to go to the hospital for that thing. So it's a special memory attached to it, but I was in love with the book basically the first time I cracked it open. I mean, I read all night long. It was just so fun.
That makes sense. Yeah. Such a Age is such a good book, Sammy.
It is.
It is such a good book.
Glad you liked it.
I'm so glad too. All right, we should probably do some reading.
Let's do some reading. Oh, let me get my Bookly going. Anybody use Bookly, guys? Anybody use the Bookly app?
You know what I do.
Let me get comfy.
What about coffee?
So let me get comfy.
Oh, comfy. I was like, I thought you said you weren't having coffee.
No, yeah, I got my tea. I've got tea.
Oh, yeah, your Sheldon ripoff.
What's the Sheldon ripoff?
That's that Rosie book she's been reading. She hates.
Guys.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I do like YA because I feel like YA, adult books tend to be too rooted in reality, which oftentimes I have had enough with reality, except for adult fantasy. But adult fantasy is sometimes too involved. Like the Wheel of Time series can be overwhelming if I'm not right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, Lacey.
My setup, I have my little blanket tent, so the heat goes straight from the heater onto me.
I love that setup.
I just have wine next to me and a sippy cup. And Grogu, my child.
I'm still so surprised that he has an actual name.
Why?
I don't know. I just figured he'd be Baby Yoda, or all the Yodas would be called Yoda. That's their species.
His name's Grogu.
I know, it's very cute, but I was just surprised that they were not all Yoda.
Imagine coming in here right now and there's just a Grogu aggressively.
I'd be freaked out.
All right, let's do this. Let's read.
Mute.
That was the sound.
Thank
3,
you.
2, 1, read. Ah. Ooh, look, I did it.
I didn't catch on fire.
Good. But if you did, we'd be famous.
I'm so sorry.
Oh. Ugh.
Wow.
How
These
far did you get?
chapters I just read were just.
Oh, Naomi, you're in like shit just picks up halfway through and it gets really
Man, I feel like I'm gonna read those. I feel like I'm gonna read this book over again. So I got to page 190. Let me close my windows because I don't want, the murderers looking inside my house.
Why do you think there's murderers?
You never know. If you leave your windows open, who's looking?
I live in the woods. No one's looking. The deer. The deer.
Second floor, so I don't usually worry.
That's true. I'm also upstairs. So if they made it this far, then it's like.
If they made it this far, there's no going back.
Wait, what was that movie from Naomi will remember this. It was like from the late 80s with the teenage vampires. And like there's a scene where they're floating out of the side of a window. Oh my God, what the hell is that movie? This is going to bother me.
I'm not. The floating vampires sounds like I might know, but the murderers, the deer. I got to page 94. I'm on Pua's chapter. Pua. I'm gonna say Pua. You're reading the audiobook, Alyssa. How do you say her name?
Who? Pua?
The
The P-U-H lady?
Yeah, P-U-A-H.
Pua.
Pua. Yeah. I don't like Amos. He can go crawl in a hole.
I'm on 260, and literally I just put a post-it in the book that just says fucking Amos. And it's the Lost Boys, the vampire at the window.
The Lost Boys. That's a classic.
See? I knew Naomi would know what I was talking about.
That's a classic. I own that movie. Love it.
So this is the scene. Hold on. Yeah. That. If I looked out my window and saw that would scare me. Yes, the Lost Boys. Debbie got it. Debbie knows.
Debbie doesn't know. Emma, have you seen
Debbie knows. Debbie.
No, but I don't think I want to with this picture.
Oh, you need to watch the Lost Boys.
So Emma's like, every time we're on a live stream, I have homework. Movie homework.
Out for all the movies I need to watch.
Someone needs to start a list. This is why we need Frances back. Frances is good at keeping our lists. Anyway.
Oh.
So then maybe, Corey Haim.
I'm trying to think of like what else happened while I got very confused where it was like I believe they're in Africa where it was like the one chapter it was like one king's and the king was a queen or the king was a lady. I got confused. I had to read a couple sentences and like wait damn it.
Yeah.
I like the Africa parts because I think that's something that often gets written out of the narrative is that these were actually cultures and civilizations with structures and hierarchies, and they weren't just savages. And I like that this is in there, and these are like just to reiterate the fact that these are people, and people are stealing people. And
I've only had one Africa chapter so far, and I really liked it. And when they ended, and it's when he said, "Brother Gabriel," and I'm here to bring you the good news, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna fuck it up. Oh, they're gonna fuck it up so bad."
You know how that's going. That storyline is only going one direction.
Yep.
Did you watch The Lost Boys though? This is Lacey.
She's like, no, it's too old.
No, but Sean's old.
True.
Sean's older. I wouldn't call him old.
No, Sean's old.
Wait, how old is he?
Isn't Sean like in his 40s?
I thought he was.
in your 40s is old, but like when you're 20, 40s is old.
Right.
No, he has teenage daughters. He's 44. He's legitimately an old soul.
Indeed.
He's in the older adult category.
On the same age range.
Yeah. He remembers the 80s.
Well, as do I.
More 90s, but I do remember the 80s. But more as a child, not as an adult. But so this is hard. Now we're all really further along. How do we discuss what we've been reading? I'm not going to talk a lot because I think I'm furthest.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk much at all because we have the live stream to talk about the book.
I see I'm not putting that up on the screen.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know if you put that up on the screen as you grab your bottle of wine.
That's fine. It's legal. I mean, that's legal there too, but we're not in Canada.
That's legal here in America too now.
Depends on where you live. It's not federal, right?
So true. That's right.
It's not federal yet.
It is federal, I thought.
No, I don't think it's federal yet.
They passed it.
Did I miss something?
Did they?
I'm pretty damn sure it's federal legal at the federal level. Let me go to Google.
Someone Google that.
Legal.
I can't unbutton my butt. My lumberjack shirt's getting too hot.
Yeah, so House of Representatives passed the marijuana legalization bill. The Democratic-controlled House of Representatives passed legislation legalizing marijuana at the federal level Friday, and that was December 4th, 2020.
But is it actually like passed into law? And when is it legal?
Oh, wait.
I'm also not putting that up.
Oh, well.
That's okay. It was the 80s.
Okay, so I think it also has to go to the Senate.
Right.
I don't like goddamn Senate. They make me.
We need to have like how our government works. Where's Schoolhouse Rock?
Classic.
I had a couple Schoolhouse Rock videos when I was in school.
Because I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill.
That's the one I remember the most. And then there was
Conjunction Junction. What's your function?
Exactly.
Do you know what? Oh my God. Okay. So the other day I could not stop singing Reading Rainbow. And Jesus is like, what are you doing? Like, what? Seriously, can you stop? And I'm like, do you know what Reading Rainbow is? And he lived here for 7 years before he went back to Spain. He was born here, lived here for 7 years, went back to Spain. He never watched Reading Rainbow. I was like, how have nobody shown you Reading Rainbow?
Really?
So I feel like I need to like send him down a YouTube rabbit hole of Reading Rainbow.
You must. Oh, that's so funny.
I didn't know what it was.
You don't know what Reading Rainbow is?
Really?
I mean, I do now because I Googled it.
LeVar Burton?
He's a legend.
Rainbow.
It ended in 2006. I was 7 years old when it ended. So,
man.
I didn't watch a lot of PBS when I was younger.
We didn't have cable. I watched a lot of PBS. PBS was the best.
A lot of Disney or Playhouse Disney as it was at that time.
You were one of those rich people who had cable. I didn't have cable.
That's so funny.
I also watched a lot of I can't thank God I'm not the only one. I was alive for 1 month of the 90s and that's it. So
the 90s were great.
I saw a tweet today where my friend was like, are we this old? Where somebody was like, oh, to have been a teenager in 2014. I'm like, you weren't a teenager in 2014? And I'm like, am I at that point where I'm starting to be like, excuse me? That's like all my favorite like albums from like the beginning of high school, end of middle school, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. That makes me feel weird. I feel old.
Oh, you are so
Oh, you're welcome
being
to
old.
feeling old, Emma. Welcome to feeling old. It only goes downhill from here. Have you seen all like the TikToks and stuff that are like they're trying to buy alcohol and they're like, "Oh no, ma'am, I saw the one."
I've seen that too, and I'm just like,
I'm so old.
I
But
didn't
the
even
worst is I was
thought
in
that too.
when I went back for my nursing degree, I had like a couple because I did it at community college. I had a couple. I had like 6 classes I had to do before I could start nursing that I just somehow didn't do on my original undergrad. And one of them was I had to take a history class because apparently all of my other history classes didn't count. And so I took this world history, and we're all reading from the textbook, which is strange just in general. And they're all children, and we get to 9/11. And they're all like, so talking about like, where were you on 9/11? And someone just goes, oh, I was in kindergarten. And I just like, I had to like leave the room. I was like, I cannot be this old.
I
You were in
when
kindergarten.
9/11 happened.
Wow.
I was
I
turning
know.
2 months later,
I know.
so I don't even remember 9/11.
Lacey,
Wow.
you are a grumpy old man.
Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It's okay
It's
though.
okay.
'Cause I'm a grumpy old man.
I'm the oldest out of like all of my friends, so I've always been like the old lady, and I also knit, so like that just adds to it.
Oh, it's okay. Knitting was cool when I was in my 20s in the city. Like there were all these like knitting shops, and we would knit at bars, and it was like the hip.
I remember when knitting was
thing
kind of
to
like
do.
a cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody my age knit. I've never been to a bar, but anybody who on Snapchat I've seen at a bar, I've never seen with knitting.
Yeah.
You're
It was
Uva.
cool.
Is that how it's pronounced? Because in my head I keep saying ove.
It's Uva.
I've heard it so many ways. Ove, uva. So how do you say it?
The audiobook says Uva.
Uva. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you should have been in, bars
should
in the
have
village
born
in like
earlier.
2005. People were knitting. We would be drunk and knitting.
I was 6 years old, or I was 5/6 in 2005, so I don't think they would have let a kindergartner come knit in a bar.
I don't know.
Well,
I used to go to the
there's
bar
that.
with my dad, which is probably going to go down a rabbit hole of like, why was there a child in a bar? But I used to go to the bar with my dad.
I think my favorite thing is my mom's like story where she's like, I'm dating myself. I was around when the drinking age was still 18, and then they changed it after she turned 18, but before she was 21.
Oh,
They were
wow.
grandfathered, I thought, though, because my dad.
I think it depended on the state, because I know my mom had to like sneak stuff.
So funny.
There were a lot of places where you were grandfathered in.
Well, and like the only thing I do in bars. Is there a bar in your town, Lacey?
There has to be several bars in her town.
Of course, it's gotta be.
What was that?
Yeah,
What is
not.
your drink? Like Rocky Mountain Bear Fuckers? Is that what was that
Oh,
drink?
right.
And like, what was in it again? We want the drink. We want the shot order, Lacey. We want your Canadian mess you up, mind eraser. Like,
I mean, the name is terrifying.
I remember what was the group chat name. I think I missed the story behind it.
there was, and I wanted T-shirts made, which is the small bear, like fucking.
That kind of would have been really cool to have.
Like in a really cutesy way, so that someone was like, "Oh, that's really what the fuck is that?"
Right. Exactly.
I still want it, Lacey. We want your drinks recipe. Not that I do shots anymore because I'm an old lady.
I don't even drink, and I'm not an old person.
I don't need to drink like that. I have no interest in getting drunk. I just have every drink interest in enjoying my drink.
I would like to drink like that. Like, what? How is that fun for you? You wake up the next morning feeling like ass.
It's not fun. You're one of those jerks that never gets hungover. I had a friend who was like that. It wasn't until we were about 35 that he started to get hungover. And I was like, oh, so now you know how all y'all felt for the last like 15 years.
Oh, that's. Oh, man.
That thing I sent with the drinks on the lanai, the Golden Girls cocktail book.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Yes.
My mom's friends grandmother. Her name is
Just
Tootie. She's like 90 or like in her 90s, maybe late 80s. She made this little box filled with tiny liquor bottles and said break in case of emergency with a little hammer and gave it to my mom. So now we just have it like sitting in our living room and I'm like, Mom, you don't drink liquor. And she's like, Tootie just gave it to me. What was I going to do? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right.
That's kind of cute, though.
That's the kind of old lady I want to be. That is my goal. Do that all day. Tequila, whiskey, and schnapps. It sounds disgusting. Before you got to the hot sauce, it was disgusting.
I don't know what any of those liquors taste like.
I'm with you, Naomi. I don't either.
Not even tequila? Mm-mm. But what? Wait, and also what schnapps? Because there's like 19 different kinds of schnapps. Any schnapps? Peach schnapps?
Is there a regular
Never
schnapps?
had it.
Peppermint schnapps? Naomi had like a good life.
It's not like cupcake flavored.
That sounds disgusting.
Oh, I love the night.
Oh, it just gets longer and longer. It just gets longer and longer.
And a hot sauce?
What's Southern Comfort?
Southern Comfort is kind of like a whiskey. It's really good with lime. SoCo and limes are good. I have an apple Southern Comfort that's in the
Any of these flavors combined with like hot sauce? Did you
None of them do. It sounds terrible. Terrible.
Mm.
Also, what does it have to do with bears? Where is the pun? Where is the joke? What are you guys reading? I am reading
Yeah.
Prophets.
Fame, the Prophets.
Now we're discussing disgusting drink orders.
Apparently, we are real bookstagrammers.
We did read. We read.
It shouldn't be good.
Is this what happens when you're in Canada and the air hurts your face? This is what you make. You make these drinks. This is
Warm you right up.
I'm just.
Emma, I always expect you to be more Canadian in your weather, but you're on southern Michigan. You're not at the north.
Oh,
So
no.
it always surprises me that you're not. Oh, Apple Jack D. It's good.
It started raining a lot today, so a lot of our snow is now slushy ickiness.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually make you warm. It actually is a vasodilator. It makes you colder, but that's
okay.
Guinness shots. What's a baby Guinness shot? Is it just Guinness? Is it like an Irish carbon, which is probably not something that you like to hear this word, but
I love these names. Irish Carbon. It's so fun.
Irish carbons are delicious if you don't screw it up, but they will mess you up.
Like, I remember I went to my friend's Baptist church, and for some reason, I don't know how they did communion, but they did. And what they did is they had these tiny little shot glasses filled with grape juice for
That's
like
in my church, but we're Methodists. We're not supposed to drink or have coffee or like anything.
That's like, I thought that was just the Mormons.
No, Methodists also have it. We also are not supposed to.
Wait, ever?
What?
Whatever? Like not have coffee ever?
Methodists aren't supposed to have alcohol, caffeine. It's a little like drugs of any kind, and we don't dance.
Ever?
I mean,
See,
I dance.
I didn't know
in general, Methodists don't dance, and they don't do a bunch of other stuff.
See, I feel like
Bailey's. That sounds delicious.
there's a Methodist church by my house, which I feel like is very not that. So I wonder if there's like different like.
It depends on where you are, but traditionally speaking, that's the Methodist. Like that's where it sits, and then it's been very like liberalized over time. But I think if you go down south, Southern Methodists are still much more traditionalist.
Yeah, because the Methodist in my neighborhood like always has like pride flags. They had a black flag.
It definitely changed, and there's contention in the Methodist Church over homosexuality, which I think there was a while back with like a few years ago with the Methodist Church and where they stood on homosexuality, and I think there's still some sort of a divide, but I feel like if you go down south, it's definitely more strict and traditional.
Because if I had a different church to ever go to, if I ever like voluntarily like went to church again, I'd go to the Methodist church in my neighborhood, in like my town, because it's like it seems pretty liberal and chill, which is very different from the churches I've been to in past.
I mean, my church was really liberal and chill, and like my Bible camp was pretty liberal and chill. And I mean, I would barely call it Bible camp, which is why Lacey knows more of the Bible than I do. But
we have quite a few non-denominational churches in this tri-state area popping up more and more every year. You know, so
the churches they're the ones that are like concert halls, and they have the big flashy lights. They're non-denominational, like the famous people churches. Those make me nervous.
There is an element of the non-denominational church that makes me nervous. Because it seems like it goes into the fundamentalist church aspect. There's a blurring of a line there, and it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But my dad said the best wedding he ever went to was a Methodist wedding because he didn't mind the not drinking part. He just really hates dancing, so he didn't have to dance. He could bring his own drinks, but like he didn't have to dance.
Oh my gosh.
Every wedding I been to has been Catholic. My cousin had a non-denominational wedding, and her mom was not happy with that. She wanted her to have a Catholic wedding. I go to a multi-religion church, so it's non-denominational. I don't think I've ever been to like a wedding outside of like Christianity kind of thing. Everything's been in the church.
The first time I went to a Jewish wedding, it was weird because you're so used to hearing the marriage vows as they stand in the Christian church. They're fairly similar across the line. There's maybe a few words here and there that change. And so it's really weird to hear a different service, but in like a kind of cool way to hear a different service. But every Jewish wedding I've ever been to, I've drank before the ceremony. And I don't know if it's just the people I went to or if that's a thing. That's what I don't know. Which doesn't happen. Like, you know, every other wedding I've ever been to, you have to wait to do that. Like maybe the groomsmen are drunk, but like you're not like there's no bar and you sit down and you have a drink with you. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I have a funny like bookish tweet my friend just sent me. It's like kind of, and it's like Harry Potter-ish related. So trigger warning, but people are trying to cancel Alan Rickman because he hasn't spoken out about the JKR situation. It's like, y'all know he's, and it's like it cuts off, and I'm like, that's horrible.
I don't know who that person is. Who is that?
Alan Rickman
played Snape, and Alan Rickman's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Alan Rickman's played a lot of villains, and he was a phenomenal actor.
He was also in Robin Hood. Somebody, because I remember that's one of my movies my mom likes. What else did he do?
He's been a lot of villains. I think he's the villain in The Rock or something like that. I was really weird last night. You know, I went down that rabbit hole yesterday of watching all those like literary things. So I was watching the poetry one, which was fascinating. But so you know, there wasn't, that one wasn't really a debate. They just had two different like literary scholars talking about poetry and the power of poetry. And the format for a lot of these is to have, for the literary ones, is to have actors who act out pieces of stories and stuff like that. And almost everybody on the panel, except for like one person, was in Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
And it was just so, and they were talking about it so much, and it's from like 2018 or 14, and it's so strange how I would love to see whether they would push that as much in 2021. That part of their whatever their book as in others.
That's interesting.
Yeah, my brother's Muslim, I'm Christian, my girlfriend's Mormon, and my cousin is. Oh my.
Oh, well, if everybody gets along, that's actually really awesome.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I went to a Muslim wedding once. It was really interesting. I'm trying to remember it. There wasn't any drinking, but I still can't really remember that well. But it was interesting. But they were also very interesting people, like just in and of themselves. So the wedding was very beautiful, and it was very small and intimate. And I remember the service being really lovely. The imam was the Quran's actually really beautiful. So, I mean, there are a lot of religious texts that are.
When I was applying for the library job at the Catholic high school, they had a copy of the Quran in their library. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool that you guys have it. Because my high school never would have carried it because.
You went to a Catholic high school.
I went to a Catholic high school, but this was also a Catholic high school, but they're also run by the Jesuits, who are like more open-minded.
Right.
It's more hip and groovy.
So I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I've never seen like another library have it? And they're like, yeah, that's like normal. And I'm like that we have it. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, my high school was stupid. I'm not used to having other cultures properly represented in a high school setting, because my high school was 97% white people, and they didn't try to do anything for us.
But I mean, it's an unfortunate failing of when you go to something that's that specific, is that you're going to just be in that bucket of stuff. So if you go to like a really, really religious whatever school, that's all you're going to get is that viewpoint and that stuff. You're all going to run down that track. I thought my confirmation class was really interesting, and I don't know anybody else who's had this experience. I came from a very small church. I was literally the only person getting confirmed, and I had like a one-on-one sessions with my pastor, and who was a woman who ended up that in and of itself in Christianity.
Oh wow, really?
To have just a woman. And
we have confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a confirmation?
We have most of the same things you have, except for that communion thing where you marry Jesus or whatever you do with like little dresses and your Bible and all that. We don't have communion.
Jesus, that's when you have the Eucharist for the first time.
I can have the Eucharist from the moment I get baptized, but not in your church, because I need the archdiocese to say, yes, you're not a heathen or some nonsense. But so since it was just me, it focused on just religion and spirituality and having a relationship with God. So we would go to different sects, and we would go to like a Hindu temple, and we would go see like a Sabbath service in a Jewish temple, and we would go to all these different places and see how different people celebrate God. And it was a really awesome experience, and something that makes you realize that God and religion, things being greater than you, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is something that as human beings we have a collective understanding of, but we have different ways that we project it and the ways that we celebrate it, and they all ultimately come to the same sort of endpoint.
Right.
We want an explanation for our world around us. We want to feel like we're not alone here in the universe, like that there's some higher power. So it was a really lovely experience that I have never met anybody else who's ever had that experience within the confines of the church.
Yeah, well, I never felt a positive emotion around my confirmation. The classes were so boring. I hated every moment. The confirmation, I guess, was cool because the oil smelled nice.
The aromatherapy aspect of it was lovely.
And well, yeah, because the bishop
is beautiful.
The bishop was like, and then would just smack it right on your forehead. And everybody would our bishop was really heavy-handed, so everybody walked out with like
smacking you on the forehead.
It was just like dripping down our faces, and I was like, my skin is gonna hate me in the morning, because I was also wearing makeup, so I was like,
wow.
And I have like pictures. I wore like pigtails for my first communion. Reconciliation, I think, was the most traumatizing of all the sacraments we had to do, because that's when you have to tell the priest your sins.
Why do you have sins? You're a child. Like, sorry.
We had to do it. Our first one was in 3rd grade, so I was like 9, and you had to go up and at least tell him 3 things. You had no options, even though you're supposed to. Every other school gave the option except mine, I guess. We were forced to go up to this priest. Sometimes it wasn't even our priest, because they bring in like other priests from other churches to get it done faster. And you had to go up and tell them at least 3 sins that you could be absolved of. And
you're a child. What are you sinning? Sorry, I'm gonna get angry.
Wow.
I always said I had a fight with my mom. I didn't listen, and I never really could always come up with a 3rd. And
the stress of it all.
And like usually like in old timey times, there would be like a barricade between you and the priest, so they couldn't like see your face. Because it's supposed to be like anonymous, like you don't even tell them your name, and you're supposed to, that's like what the booths are in for like in the Catholic Church. You go in there. No, in grade school you were face to face. You told them your name. I'm like, I don't think this is what you're supposed to do.
Wow.
And I got to high school and people told me that they were like never forced to do it, and I was like, That was the most traumatic part of my childhood. I had to talk to an old man about shit I did wrong.
I don't like this.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more it sounds like a cult sometimes.
Oh, I have.
Okay, we gotta read.
Let's read. On that note,
We gotta read.
Because I don't know how I feel
that
about this.
information off with this
And
book.
anything I say now is going to somehow get me in trouble. So let's read. 3, 2, 1. So cool. Naomi, where are you?
That Timothy chapter was rough.
Where were you?
The Timothy chapter, I just got through that one before the revelation of Judas. Oh, I have a lot of feelings.
I have a lot of feelings. Where are you, Emma?
I just got to the chapter called Ruth.
Whew.
We just got through Sarah's chapter.
The amount of things that are getting covered in this just little tale is a little insane, and he is amazing that he's accomplished this in a debut novel.
Right?
Is anybody else just like dumbfounded by that?
I'm dumbfounded.
Because so far there's slavery, yes, okay. So, but we've got like women's roles just generally through different races. You've got the whole Africa piece. You have religion and race. There's mulattoes as well. Are we allowed to use the word mulattoes anymore? I don't know, but that
I don't know what the new term is, but yes,
what we would have called, his children. And there's so much packed in this book. It's insane.
How close are you to the end, Alyssa?
I'm under 100. I know that. Maybe like 80 or 90. Yeah, like more like 80 pages. It's crazy how much is in here.
Yeah.
I'm on page 123.
I'm on 225.
I'm on like 297 or something like that. It's insane how much is in this book. Like I'm sorry, my mind is just like somewhere else.
Yeah, the Timothy chapter really was just kind of I was feeling very sad.
I had a lot of hope for Timothy. I had a lot of hope for Timothy.
Right.
Oh, boy.
So
I have to say, Emma. I had a lot of hope for Timothy.
55 pages left.
You got it.
Well, the thing is I started reading Aquafus last night, and I couldn't stop. So it's going to be really difficult to not read that.
No, I know. I was there.
Maybe finish that one first and then finish the Prophets.
They're very different reads.
For sure.
For
sure.
When this gets very heavy, I'll switch to Miss Sarah J. Maas and lighten it up a little bit. I just tweeted because I finished my chapter and I didn't want to start a new one because we had like 2 minutes left. And one of the booktubers I follow tweeted something about A Court of Silver Flames, and
You are. Go ahead, Emma.
Sorry.
Girl, it needs to be read. Like, this is something I didn't think I'd read, but I'm loving it.
Yeah.
There's so much in here. Like, it's.
I mean, I already feel like as soon as I end it, I'm gonna want to start it over.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
You know, I feel like on a second read, you'll pick up like even more, or you'll realize even more. That's how I feel about this.
You know what I didn't realize, and I stuck a Post-it note in somewhere in like the 200 and something mark, that they call the plantation different names.
Right.
And like, why do they call them different names? Like, I want to sit with that more. Like, there's little things in there that you're like,
because I thought it was called Empty.
It's not called Empty. As you go along, like, there's another name for it.
Oh, okay. If I say, am I dumb? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they said it was called Empty.
I do, and then slowly, as you meet more and more people, you as each character comes, there's like another piece to the puzzle that
like more is revealed.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish we had more consistent points of view. Maybe like going back to the same person instead of adding a new one every time, but that could just be like a me thing because I'm used to more like switching back and forth, but we just keep adding new ones.
Because I mean, when you think about it, like the plantation has a lot of slaves on it, and a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's just one huge community. You know?
And what you're seeing is a sliver of this life through every different facet's eyes, and
Right.
it's
I also really like Sarah. Like reading her chapter was just like, I love her.
well, you know who you won't love? Amos.
I already don't love him. I already knew that.
He's not getting a redemption arc.
I figured he wouldn't. Like, he's already weird. He's already homophobic. Like, this man doesn't have anything going for him for me. I knew he wasn't going to get any better.
Right.
There is a lot of homophobia, and that's so prevalent in just the society as a whole. But I thought it's interesting because you'll get to a passage in the near where I am where there is that, like, you've heard it before, where like, oh, we're like when you're at war, like when you're like men by yourselves, you get this more than brotherly thing, and like somehow that explains away the feelings. And it's and I forgot that was like an excuse that kind of comes up until it came up, and then I was like, oh, yep, there it is. Yep, okay.
And then you have that piece where you're back in Africa, and there's that ceremony.
Yeah, and they're not understanding.
Exactly.
There was
a spoiler.
Right, exactly. I'm trying to be like vague.
So
I say, okay, like, I'm okay being spoiled. I'm like, wait, we're live. Other people will get spoiled.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there was a point
when Amos is awful. He does not get any better.
In Amos's chapter, when he was like talking about Isaiah and Samuel, and he was like, usually you'd go for like your hand or like a pig, and I was like, you go for a what?
A pig. Anybody else see the first episode of Black Mirror?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought of.
Right.
I was like, oh, why the poor piggies?
And that was a second reference to the pig, because there was an earlier reference to that act.
Well, there's a lot of bestiality that YouTube is going to flag this like crazy. There's a lot of bestiality. I can't talk. That is almost like a joke in a lot of different pockets of the world, and like, you know, like, oh, like sheep herders and their sheep and this and that.
Right,
and it must actually be real. It must have actually happened. And that's part of my brain can't handle that. Like, that was a real thing.
Origin story that I've
heard.
have
to take the book for March. Sorry, I got really excited.
Where it's like the reason, like, I think it's Christopher Columbus is the reason we have a sexually transmitted disease, because I think he did something with a llama.
I don't understand how you get that desperate. And like the only time you hear that about a woman is that false thing with Catherine the Great and the horse. And like,
right.
Like, what is wrong with men? You don't need to put it in everything.
Right. All hoes are not for you.
No, they're not.
Oh, so Columbus was blamed for bringing syphilis to Europe. But it's saying that he can't be like solely blamed.
No, I mean, it was called like the French pox. It was called all kinds of different things. Whoever your person was that you disliked, it became theirs. Whatever it was. But to discuss do we want to reveal prematurely our March book? Premature reveals. While we're talking about sticking things in holes, premature reveals.
Where did that?
I have a screwed up brain.
Oh man. Sure, we can do an early reveal for March.
Somebody else talk before I say something else.
So in March, so we do 2 books a month. We do a main pick and then we do a bonus book. So the main book for March is The Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe.
Yeah, Melinda Lowe.
And then the bonus book is A Gentleman's Murder.
A backlist book. We wanted to do a backlist book.
Yeah, and so that book is A Gentleman's Murder by Christopher Huang.
Alyssa, pictures.
Huang. But we're gonna announce it officially on Wednesday.
Good. I was gonna ask when we were announcing it, because I was like, wait, are we gonna do that? the days in my brain do not work. Debbie, I had to bring it up. It's this, I think I saw it on Tumblr one time, and I couldn't remember if it was true or not. But he can't be blamed solely. But I think he was. His shipmen were part of the syphilis issue in Europe.
Well, when in Europe, and you're a young man at that time, you go to a brothel or two. It's what you do.
After coming back from doing things with llamas.
Oh, did you know that this was a okay? I'm gonna get distracted. Okay, let's Alyssa, before you get distracted, let's go over here. And in case people need visuals, we are gonna share things. I wish I could share things more easily, but I haven't mastered this yet. So Midnight Telegraph Club. Yeah, we got it. This one, beautiful. I need to order mine.
I need to see if it's at my library. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do.
I actually found it on Abe Books of all places, but I have to place my actual order. And then this is A Gentleman's Murder. So we're trying to do like a mystery March sort of theme. But did you know this was a play?
Did not.
Oh, yeah. No, this is A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. That's different. Never.
Okay.
Mind.
Oh, I thought it
was like it's a play. No, it's this. This is the book. This one. Right here.
I also technically need to renew this because it was due today.
Yes, don't have library fines. My grandmother, God rest her soul, would be mad at you.
Well, I turned in my last two like super late, and I didn't end up having funds or fees. Okay, I have to walk Tank. Thanks for late.
Kenny's crying downstairs. I'm just ignoring him.
Oh,
He's just needy and can't come upstairs anymore. Poor boy. I'm excited for like mystery.
I am too.
The problem is Mystery March is also going to include like fantasy because we have our Crescent City buddy read. I want to read Fortuna Sworn. There's like a mix of stuff, but I need to find some more mystery. Not that I don't have sacks of mysteries for my mother.
I'll be reading some Walter Mosley for the first time next month.
We were talking about this. Yeah. That's definitely like a name I know well, but I've never read. And I want to read more Dorothy Sayers.
Okay, I just placed a hold on from my library doesn't have copies, but relatively local places have copies. Does Ferndale not just have it? No, I guess my library has no copies of it at all. So they just
really?
Somebody else. But that's
maybe they're on order.
No, it doesn't.
It's not out yet.
They just don't have it.
Oh wait, is it out yet? What's the date on it?
It says it's available from other libraries.
Okay. I do have to say, Naomi, we need to read this.
Yes, we do, with April, because she also has a copy.
And then I have like this little mystery that I really want to read.
Oh, Erin Lindsay, Golden Grit.
A Rose Gallagher mystery.
That's probably going to be fun.
Like they're like cute, cozy mysteries. Like I'm ready to be like a little cozy, and
I love
I'll probably hopefully be back to like regular work in March at some point. So like I'm gonna need for that transition. Brutal.
Exactly.
Wonder if they have an audiobook.
You can read the comment. I did not realize how old the Communist Manifesto is.
It's old.
You can read it free online.
Yeah, it's pre-1900. I did not realize that. Well,
my cousin and I were like, let's get matching copies for shits and giggles. I'm trying to see, does it say it's original? Like,
it's pre-1900s. I was watching this on my rabbit hole yesterday of like literary debates. I was watching one of between Dickens and Tolstoy, who's better, and came up in that like how old the Communist Manifesto is, and it's pre-1900.
Yeah,
which I
it says on the back. Well, it was just too funny. We were in this used bookstore, and I just happened to walk by it, and I go over to my cousin, like, you know what they have 2 copies of? And she's like, what? I'm like, Communist Manifesto. And she's like, do you want to get matching copies? And she was so excited. I was like, why not? So now I just have it.
If my mother ever came over and saw that I had the Communist Manifesto, she would probably start attacking.
I want to read that. And I was like, She was a little more concerned about like the witchy spiritual books I came home with. Because this one actually says like witch on it. And I'm like, I just want to see.
That wouldn't concern her.
Yeah. So I thought it would have been the other way around, but I was wrong.
I still think my mom is a witch, but that's okay.
Was her doll collection
not in the meanest way possible? I just think she has powers, and because like she makes things happen, and not always in the best way. Like sometimes she just says things and they occur. And I don't know if that comes from the wisdom of age and just being able to understand things, or if my mother just literally
Right.
Oh, thank you, Tina.
Oh, thanks, Tina.
These aren't my real glasses. These are because I'm staring at a computer with a giant ring light looking at me glasses.
I love how you have like a ring light, like professionally. I have like one lamp there, overhead light back there, and another lamp.
Naomi has like full actual uplights.
Because she's
I have facing me right now. One of mine.
I need to get those. But
you do, and the price is so good. I got 2 for like 40-something bucks.
Yeah, the ring lights are expensive though. My ring light was like 60 or 70.
That's what I'm saying. I paid less for these 2 lights.
My ring light, like the ring light's nice because I can change the wattage and the coolness and warmness. They're pretty good.
Yeah,
I have like a makeup ring light where it's like a mirror and then the light around it.
I need to get more glasses. My dream is to have somebody like eyeglasses direct or whatever those things are, to be like, I'd be like, yes, give me all the glasses.
Get so many cute pairs from iBuy Direct, but I'm like, I literally cannot spend any more money.
I am so blind that when I buy glasses, they are extremely expensive. Even when I buy from cheap places, they're like.
Try to tell me I'm wrong when I tell them about my prescription, because one eye is nearsighted and one eye is farsighted.
Oh,
so
you're wonky.
Yeah. So they're like, are you sure that's right? Because one of your prescriptions is positive and the other says negative. And I'm like, I'm positive. My eyes are just weird.
Yeah,
I only needed one contact when I wore them. My left eye was the only one that needed a contact.
That makes it cheaper.
These are for reading, but because I'm old,
sponsor you and send you glasses. So don't want to spend money on glasses anymore.
These were a good price, but I mean, these are just reading glasses with a little bit of distance in them. My eye doctor was like, I'm going to put a little bit of distance prescription in here just in case your eyes change in like the next year. But so far, it's the same as when I take them off. So I just use them for reading.
These are my reading glasses, but I don't always need my reading glasses. I really only need my readers when I'm like, wow, we are old. I really only need my readers when my eyes are really tired.
Oh, no, I need them like for the comfort. You know what I mean? Or else I've got to hold the book like so far out.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
When my eyes get really tired, it's hard. Or when like the font's really small, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So I put the readers on.
Yeah.
But I'm blind as a bat without my contacts, which is why when Aaliyah the other day was like something about like contacts and like she forgot her glasses, I was like, how did you get to work?
These are for like everything, but like if I'm wearing like makeup, I will try not to wear them because like I can see fine. It's just details and driving is really hard. Like if I take these off, I really have to like focus to read like the text. Like if I close this eye, then it's fine. My left eye is the one that's
whatever the distance is between here and my navel is my visual range, and then I can't see anything beyond that. Because like when I don't have contacts in the shower, I can't see anything below my navel. It's just fun.
That's one way to figure it out.
Yep. Try to shave your legs. Really hard.
Just get like really up close.
You're like this. But no. But I always like putting on my makeup when I have glasses on because I look really good because it's like having a soft focus lens. And then I put my glasses on. I'm like, what the fuck did I do to myself?
That's funny.
I wear my glasses during, well, you can't because while you're doing makeup, but like usually turns out okay because I'm always like up close and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, but you do your makeup well. I do my makeup tolerably. Like, you do like double wings and like crazy stuff, and like I can't even wing myself.
Meanwhile, I haven't done makeup in a year since I've been working from home.
You're a goddess, so stop.
It's like, I'm not wasting this makeup. I'm not even going anywhere.
I wouldn't put makeup on your face either because you're a goddess. You don't need it.
You're the best.
I hate feeling bald sometimes, so sometimes I get in the mood to do my makeup.
Bald? Or eyebrows?
Well, no.
Naked.
Bald face.
Oh, you need to put your face.
I finally got my eyebrows to a point where you can like actually see the tails. So they don't look bald. They used to be bald. Like if I showed like a picture from like sophomore year, it'd be like you could see the front and then all the end would just be like all over the place. So there was no defined tail and it looked.
We're not going to talk about my eyebrows. They really grew out during me having COVID and I haven't handled it yet. And we're just going to not talk about it. Okay.
I have eyebrows and even when they wax them, they'll be like
brows, and I'm very jealous of it.
You have wonderful brows because they're nice and thick.
When my girlfriend used to wax my eyebrows, we worked together and we were in the same like medical office, and she would wax my eyebrows and a bunch of other people at the end of the night. And like what she took off my brow would be somebody else's brow to start with. That's how thick my eyebrows are. I literally have like my dad sometimes has this one eyebrow that's like this. I have my dad's eyebrows.
I think better too thick than too thin.
My mom has no eyebrows. And
my mom has not.
I do not remember. Let me see if I can like find a picture of my dad and see if I can like see if he had eyebrows because I cannot remember for the life of me.
No, I have my father's eyebrows.
Notice how most men have like perfect eyebrows. Most.
They have beautiful eyebrows.
Like just the right amount of hair, just like nice and like, perfectly shaped. And I'm like,
apparently this is something that people like, but I do not like maintaining them. Because when they grow together and I start getting a unibrow, I am not happy. I did not shave my legs for like, I don't even know how long, 6 weeks, barely had any hair. You're looking at my eyebrows?
And I just came across this gem from God knows how long ago, Alyssa with leeks.
Oh, yes, me and the leeks. I do love leeks. I've tried to grow leeks so many times, and I've never successfully grown a leek. One day I will. I've also never successfully grown rhubarb.
I can't say I've tried to grow either of those.
I used to have like a big kitchen garden, and I need to figure out where I'm going to put that here. And I've been saying that for like 3 or 4 years because I want to really make it nice.
I would love to see that progress.
I love having a kitchen garden. I need my best friend to come back from Florida and stop dating this woman down there and just come back so we can do our thing again.
Why can't she bring her girlfriend?
Well, he doesn't really like her anyway. She has a kid, so he's kind of invested. They live together for a while.
I thought they were gay ladies.
Who?
Your friend.
Oh, Karen and Maggie?
No, the guy you said your friend in Florida. I thought that was a woman you were speaking of.
No. That's my friend Matt. We've been friends since I was 11, so I've known him like almost my.
He's the one you talked to on Google Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I found that weird because I only used Google Hangouts when we had our Chromebooks in high school. Me too.
Stop having life. Exactly. Stop it. Come back to me.
No, my dad really didn't have eyebrows either.
We understand each other. We've spent 20 some odd years together.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't have eyebrows either.
No.
But he had a mustachy thing.
He did, which
doesn't help you.
At his like wake funeral thing, and you know how they like touch up like hair, makeup, and all that. Yeah. They made his mustache so red, and everything else was brown. And I looked at it, and I was like, "Mom, it's red." And she's like, "Ignore it." I'm like, "No, it's red. He's not a redhead. Make them fix it." And she's like, And then my nail went into the casket, and the guy. I had press-ons because I didn't have time to go get my nails done. And so a press-on nail went in.
Did you receive it or did he get buried with it?
He didn't get buried. It kind of just went with him.
Well,
you know. And the guy who worked at the funeral home is like, do you want us to look for it? And I'm like, no! Don't move him around. Just leave it be.
Hard pass.
Oh god. I mean, I've handled plenty of dead bodies, so I would have got in and fished it out for you. But like,
Well, I didn't even know where it fell off. That was the problem. I didn't know if it was on a side, if it was on the coat. I'm like, I'm not digging around. He can keep it.
Yeah.
yeah, you need a nurse with you. She will go in and retrieve it. We are not afraid.
The funeral home guy wasn't afraid either. I was like, no.
No,
The rest keep
more
popping off.
intimate
Don't
with
worry
the dead
about
body
it.
than we are.
Hockey is on.
Oh, hockey's on.
Hi.
Hi. We're just
Join us for March.
dead bodies. It's fine. Go enjoy your hockey.
You know, I wonder if people are like turned off by our tangents or if they love them. Because I love them.
I love
But
I
I'm-
don't know. We're I don't know.
I mean, Debbie's still here.
Debbie's still. We didn't scare Debbie away.
Not yet. Give us time. Oh, Lord. What are we doing with our lives? Just imagine
I'm still thinking about this Timothy chapter.
Yeah, the Timothy chapter is a lot. I mean, I wish we could talk about it freely, but
I know that's why I'm quiet about it. Because I really need to think about it some more. And I just
I'm flipping through to see how far I am from the Timothy chapter. I'm not too far off. But I saw that there was a chapter called Nebuchadnezzar, which I
I don't know what Nebuchadnezzar means, so if someone could explain that to me.
He's a figure from the Bible. I don't know his story. I just remember the Veggie Tales movie about him.
Veggie Tales. No,
Did y'all
Veggie Tales is a long time.
Veggie Tales?
I know what Veggie Tales is. I know.
they are.
Was Naomi, was that around when your kids were younger?
Yeah,
Did you watch it?
probably.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah,
I'm still traumatized by all the Barney I had to watch, so you know.
yeah, Nebuchadnezzar, he was the second, he was the king of Babylon. And I don't know what he did. Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible, he's identified as the king responsible for destroying Solomon's temple and initiating the Babylonian captivity. He's a significant character in the book of Daniel. Oh,
There's
that's
a lot of Solomon.
maybe he might be the guy. He might be the guy who threw Daniel in the lion pit. That's what I'm thinking, because that's what I think of when I hear Daniel and the Bible.
That might make sense. We need to look back at which chapter that was exactly. That could make sense. See, Debbie's still here. We haven't heard Debbie yet.
Yeah, I immediately thought, because there's like a whole movie with Nebuchadnezzar, and it's like the really big angry cucumber. Rack, Shack, and Benny. Yeah. Oh my god, I remember. His name is Mr. Nezer he's the big angry cucumber.
I cannot. I cannot.
The cucumber. Show Naomi the cucumber. Show Naomi the cucumber.
He's a zucchini.
Okay.
Except that one time I had to go, Mr. Nebuchadnezzar is his name.
Got it.
He's an elderly zucchini, and he made it. Oh, he has the chocolate bunny factory.
Good grief.
Oh, and Josh in the Big Wall. He has a non-speaking role as Moses. Oh my god, that's the one with the peas.
I might need more wine
He's
for
having a moment.
Emma's having a moment.
Veggie Tales was so much of my childhood because of Catholic
I'm
school.
not reading Rainbow. Sorry.
I have Veggie Tales. I'm sorry. And they have the silly songs. Like, oh, where is my hairbrush?
And LeVar Burton.
Okay, it's all right. We understand.
No, we don't, Naomi. Stop speaking for us.
I'm going to send you guys the link to the silly song countdown. It's on YouTube, where
But imagine if my eyebrows were always like this. I'd look terrified.
I have a friend whose eyebrows grow upwards, so her eyebrows grow straight up, and you can like push. She can like hold Q-tips on them.
Wow.
Weird. Eyebrows are weird. Do you know what's weird? So like everybody at work basically is like this now, right?
Yep.
And you don't realize how much this makes up your actual face. And like
Right.
people take their masks off. There are people I have not seen their whole face in a year because we've all been like this. And then they'll take their mask off to like eat or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I legitimately had no idea you looked like that. And like it sounds really insulting, but it's like I just had no idea.
Right.
Because like you don't know. Like anything could be under there. Anything.
Anything. Anything.
I have no idea what they look like. And you start to make up like a person in your head, you know,
Yep.
from other interactions, and then suddenly whole different face.
Right. So crazy. Oh man.
Oh man. Just thinking about the zucchini.
Oh boy. All right. So
Mr. Nitman.
live discussion for the prophets is
Sunday.
at 3 Eastern time.
I was about to say I didn't know the time. I will not be drugged up for it, I promise.
Drugged? Are you drugged?
No, I will be starting Wednesday.
Why are you? Oh, for the thingy thing? Yeah.
Miss Teratoma's getting evicted.
That's fine. We want the teratoma gone.
I told my cousin about it, and she's like, her first question, are you keeping it? I'm like, I'm not allowed.
No, they have to biopsy it. You're not allowed to have it.
My mom also said I'm not allowed.
But my one of my many former sister-in-laws used to have this a lot, and she's fine. You'll be fine.
That's good.
So
I
some
hope
people
so.
are just prone to these things, and as long as they get it all out, you should be fine. Because it's probably just a cyst.
Yeah.
I told you my daughter had a similar surgery. She's okay.
I told her because of the anesthesia.
Fine.
That's the only thing I'm nervous about. I'm not nervous
That's
about
a
the big.
legitimate thing to be nervous about. Anesthesia isn't a joke, and we're so used to it at this point because so many people do things that it's kind of commonplace. But anesthesia isn't a joke. You'll be fine, but it is a very normal thing to be worried about.
Yeah, but my aunt who works in the hospital like asked her like higher powers that be if she could be with me in pre-op and post-op.
That's good. Do you have somebody there?
Yeah,
Good.
and I'm just like, my mom's like, damn, she's got good connections up in there because she's like kidney transplant, head of kidneys.
Well, that's the hard part of doing anything right now is that you don't have like everything you do alone, which is not normal. It's not the norm for you to go through like big life things all by yourself. And so disconnected from everything, and on both sides, it's really hard. I've sat and listened to so many people on Zoom talking to their family members who are essentially dead in a bed in the ICU during COVID, just like, and the tears and the like raw heartache that comes out. Like it's so hard, like both sides, because and you can see like they're not actually dead in a bed. Like you can see their vitals reacting to things. Like people hear things, people respond to stuff. It's sad. Yeah. This whole thing is it goes so many levels deep of how horrible the last year and a half has been for about everybody.
Yep.
So, but it's good that you have someone who'll be there for you. A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
So. They also scheduled it so my mom's lady doctor, can also be there, and I'm like, glad to know we worked around her schedule. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
We are sending all the good vibes.
Thank you.
To you.
You'll be good. You'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'll let you guys know. Maybe you'll get some wonky Emma videos.
Yes, Emma, since you never do anything like state altering, please send us like I've had some sort of mind altering drug moment. So I can see you silly.
We are here for that.
I will do my best. It'll be interesting.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's worrying, and it's totally normal to be worried, but they
I'm
do this
also
all the time.
real tired because I think I have to get there at like 6 in the morning.
It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, it's not gonna, I'm not excited. I was, part of me was like, do I stay up all night reading just so I can like fall asleep in the hospital and just like have them go to town?
Sure. Whatever gets you through it.
Yeah.
Nobody there is gonna care as long as like you are
Present
enough to give consent for them to do their procedures. Nobody cares. You can do whatever you want. Just follow their whatever instructions they give you in terms of bathing and all that other stuff, and then nobody cares.
Yeah, they have to call me tomorrow with all that info. And my mom's like, why did you put down the home phone number for that? I'm like, I did?
It's fine.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you probably to like shower at a certain time, and they're going to tell you to like stop. They probably have already told you to stop taking certain things and not eating certain things.
Yeah, they didn't say I needed this. The only thing they said I wasn't allowed to take was blood thinners, but I don't take those anyway. So
You don't have any garlic, Gold Seal, aspirin, anything, right? You're fine.
no. I just had the Lexapro.
That won't make you bleed.
Vitamin D.
That won't make you bleed. Vitamin E?
D.
That won't make you bleed.
And then I take fiber, biotin,
You're good.
and melatonin.
You're fine. You're A-okay. Vitamin E will make you bleed, so don't do E. But don't.
Yeah.
You'll learn something new. First of all, I don't even know where that
Most
is.
people take vitamin E for like their skin or something, but vitamin E will make you bleed. E, Gold Seal, garlic pills. The people who take like you can eat garlic, but people who take like garlic as a supplement, that'll make you bleed.
Who takes garlic as a
For
supplement?
cardiovascular
It's anti-inflammatory. It's a vascular thing. A lot of people do.
I didn't know
Hear
that.
Hemi going to town downstairs. Can you actually hear him barking?
I
He's like,
heard.
why have you been gone so long?
I saw 2 like tinier greyhounds. They weren't like the babies, but they were like kind of medium sized.
So
Like,
maybe they were whippets.
they weren't whippets. They were bigger than whippets, but smaller than like Turbo and Hemi. And they were wearing little sweaters out today. It was very cute.
Oh, they may have been females. The females are quite small.
I think they were.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my babies. Anyway,
All right.
now that we've gone through pre-op, would you like to end this?
We can do whatever.
Well, I clearly have to relieve Hemi from his misery downstairs.
Oh, is Jesus not home?
No, he's working today. He should be done with his shift shortly. Depends on how long it takes them to do report to the next shift. But his shift ends in like 6 minutes.
That's good.
I'm going to eat my dinner, which is sushi,
Ooh,
and finish reading Silver Sparrow.
I'm probably gonna make
reading a bit more before I call it quits for the night.
my mom's not home, so I don't know what I'm gonna eat for dinner. I haven't eaten that well today, so we'll see.
Today I've had Triscuits and some toast, so I think I'm gonna make.
I love Triscuits.
They
when
were.
I was a kid, I would go to town on Triscuits.
I do love a good Triscuit.
The plain ones.
I'm just gonna make some fake chicken nuggets and yeah, eat my fake chicken nuggets and some Carolina barbecue sauce because Carolina barbecue sauce is the best.
It's delicious.
It is good. It's vinegary. It's delicious. I love it.
It
My
is.
favorite.
It is.
Anyway, so Debbie, thank you for actually not being terrified of us.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
Yes,
we do.
So does the child.
The child.
I came upstairs, like I left for work and Jesus was off, and I tucked Grogu in next to him, and I came back from work and I was going to bed, and Grogu was like thrown across the floor, and I gave him such a lecture about like throwing our child across the floor, and he's just looking at me like, "Are you okay?"
There's like TikToks where it's like couples when they're like cuddling and like someone will kick the squishmallow off and they're like, "Excuse me, what was that?" And then they go get the squishmallow and like tuck it in.
This is our baby. Can you not throw him across the room? Thank you.
Exactly.
When I'm not here, I tuck him in with that, and I crook him in with his corgi as well.
Oh, that's too funny.
I told them there are 2 more corgis coming because I ordered those 2 corgi squishmallows that were like Hot Topic exclusives. And he's like, Alyssa, we can't live. Where are we putting all these things? I'm like, shut up. Just shut up.
Just let it happen, man.
Sounds like my mother.
It'll be fine. It'll all work somehow.
We'll find space.
Mm-hmm. We love you too.
Love you, Debbie.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Bye. See you Sunday.
Oh,
See you
goodbye. See you Sunday.
I will make
2 p.m.
the live stream link and put that up tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Bye.